Hi there, my name is Riri and you're watching Riri's World. Welcome to my little nook of the internet. Today I will be talking about my personal experience with memory as someone diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. Let's start with, I came up with a lovely little analogy earlier. And picture this, I'm going to set a little scene for you, right? You and your two friends, you're sat. I'm going to shift this, right? You and your two friends are sat. Well, your friend turns to your friend. Your two friends are talking. Friend one's like, hey, what did you do last week? And friend two's like, oh, I'm not really sure. Let me check my newspaper. And for the sake of this, your newspaper represents your memories. So they're like, right, let me check. They're like, right, last week, page 10 on the contents page. They're like, great, this is what that's labelled as. Let's go to last week. And so they flip their page and they open up their little newspaper and they're looking through it and they're like, oh, well, this column is about this day and this photo is from this day and there's dates and there's labels and there's columns and there's article titles and everything's just so beautifully organised. I'm like, cool, you had a good week. So now my friend turns to me and they're like, well, what did you do with your week? I don't know. Let me check. And so I open up my fucking newspaper. I don't have a contents page. I mean, I might do somewhere in there. I'm sure I could look for it if I tried really, really hard. But it's probably been torn out because half the pages are torn out. Half the pages are half ripped. Half the pages are just a title and a blank page. Just a very vague title and nothingness. That's what I've got. That's what I've got to work with. And I'm like, I'm trying to find the date and I'm like, maybe I did this. And they're like, did you? I'm like, no. It's a guess. It's a ballpark guess. That's what most of my what did you do today or what did you do last week answers are. Ballpark guesses. I am shooting assumptions in the dark. So I think next, slow down, get a little personal. I think for me, in my current life, I struggle the most with it because I have a baby. It's incredibly upsetting to look at photos of my baby in their newborn era or any of their eras and not to feel like I'm looking at another mother and her baby because I can't remember it. And it's not like I was going through anything distressing or anything. It's just like my body's made a habit of not encoding things. When I was diagnosed, it was a really rough, it was a really rough time. And my internal experiences at the time, they were very internal. I was always in my own head, always. I actually I'm listening to a podcast at the moment. Can't remember what it is, but I know I'm listening to it at the moment. And one of the things that the psychiatrist in it, which is a woman, and she was saying, and she was like, to have DID, this is just her personal opinion, she did say that, she was like, basically to have it, I think the person has to be able to lose themselves. You know, when you go on a drive, if you're the type of person who frequently finds that they're like, I don't know how I got here. Like, I've just zoned out. Like, you're often on autopilot, things like that. Those are all, from what I've researched, like mild forms of dissociation. You know, you're like, say you're at cinema and you're so absorbed in the film and the lights come on and you're like, whoa, I didn't realise that. I was so, like, just absorbed in the film. And I've always had that ability to become absorbed. Excessively so. I was a very, heavy daydreamer as a kid. Like, very heavy daydreamer as a kid. And even now. But I don't spend half as much time in my head now. Nowhere near, because I have external things to do. I have a baby. I have a life. I can't be the 15-year-old who didn't leave her room. Thank God I can't be that. But I can't be that, and I cannot spend that much time in my own head. And because that period of time is just so far away in like connection. Like, if you look at a photo of yourself from the past, you're like, yeah, I was awkward, my confidence has grown, or it's shrunk, or, even if you don't wholly relate, you can still say, this was me, I had that experience. Whereas when I look back at photos of myself from that time, there is such a strong disconnect, even though physically it looks like me. And I know it's me because it's there. It's on the photo. It has to be me. But I don't remember it. And, every now and again, I feel like torturing myself. I'm like, okay, let's go look at the old diary entries and stuff, the few I still have access to. And I just read them, and my thought processes just, they don't work that way. I don't understand how I used to get from point A to point B in my thought processes. Like, how did we even start? Like, what? That's what it feels like, sort of looking back on pictures of myself. I just, it doesn't look like I'm looking at me. Like, I know I'm looking at me, but it's not me. Like, please don't be me. Like, I can't remember it being me, so we can just, pretend it's not. I don't even go by the same name. Like, let's just brush her under the rug. And that's what it feels like. And during that time, there was no external world. And even though I realised recently, my friend said to me, she was like, oh, well, you remember when you sent me all those introductions? No. Introductions? Could you elaborate? And she's like, well, yeah, around the time you were diagnosed, and you sent me all your instructions of all your different alters and stuff. And I was like, I can't even tell you one. What do you mean I had multiple? Multiple that I knew of. And I was like, okay. So she goes back through her phone, and we screenshot them all, and she sends them over to me. And that's what I sat down today and do. Is one of my little, every now and again, my little journaling. I do a lot of journaling, but it's not really structured. It's more like brain blurting of just whatever I could want to do, because I do enjoy self-work and things like that, but some stuff just, it's like I said, think of the newspaper page, and there's just this vague article, and I'm like, I open the page and I go to read it, and it's just everything just the newspaper snaps shut, and I get booted in the face. That's what it feels like sometimes. I've just been, if say you're at work and there's a private meeting going on, and the second you open the door, they're like, get out. You're like, shit, sorry. And you close the door, and you're like, wait, I actually I wanted to know that information, but it's gone. I'm not allowed it. Ooh, that's what it feels like. It feels like someone's been like, nope, not for you. Nope. Mm-mm. That's what it feels like. It's awful. It's I'm quite a smiley person, but I'm not one to get emotional on camera. I swear, this does actually, it does impact me beyond my lovely little bubbly personality. I was saying something beforehand, and I don't remember what. Blah, blah, blah. I was going somewhere with that. Don't know. It's gone. Fuck. Either way, on a whole, I find that, to me, the media focuses so much. Oh, it focuses so much on alters and personalities. And that has never been my primary experience. Even when I had lots, I don't think it was my primary experience. I think I just spent a lot of time in my head. So I could, but the memory was the biggest problem. That was the one that was impacting my life. I was sitting exams, and I remember sitting this one maths paper, because I don't remember sitting it, but it's memorable. I'll get into it. So it's parents evening, and I'm sat there, I'm talking to my maths teacher, and she's like, oh, you got your exams back, blah, blah, blah. There are 3 maths papers. She's like, you got your exams back. I said, look. And she told me my scores, and I was like, well, that's wrong. And she was like, what do you mean it's wrong? I was like, well, I didn't sit the 3rd one. I didn't sit the 3rd paper. And you've given me a score. So that score can't be my paper. So I send her on this week-long hunt for this maths paper, only for my friend at the end of the week to be like, you were there. You were you kind of didn't do anything. You just sort of sat there. You don't think you wrote anything. And apparently I did. I just sat there for my exam. I was like, cool. At least I know they didn't magic my score up, or I was really worried. I'd basically stolen someone's score. Someone had my 0, for not sitting it. It's not a U. I think it's called a non-complete or something, or an incomplete. And I was really worried some poor student had received my fail, and I'd gotten their crappy score, and now that was my crappy score. I didn't fail. I mean, I don't know, I probably did, to be honest, but that was just one of those times where I was like, fuck, this poor teacher, she must be really annoyed when I turned around and was like, sorry, I did sit it. I don't remember sitting it. I'm really sorry. I've been making you look for it and nagging all these teachers, because I was really sad. I was like, no. I was like, you have to go and find who scored this. I can't have someone else's score. That's not ethically just. Please go and find this person's score and give it back to them, because I don't care about my scores. This person might really want this paper back. My paper, didn't remember saying it. And that's always been my big thing, is the memory. I've always been scatterbrained, I think is probably the word I use the most. It just sort of feels like everyone's got this one lovely little train, and it's just chugging along. This is their little thought train, up it goes. And I'm like, oh, let me go look at my thought train. Not one thought train, no. For some reason, I have the entire network system going on in my head. I've got 8 different trains on the go to one place, and they're due to collide about 5 different areas. And I've got 6 that are late and backed up. I've got 4 that need some refurbishment. That's what my actual thought process has always felt like. It's always felt like lots of overlapping different ones. And that's not a strictly DID thing. I think that's seen in lots of people who just tend to be very imaginative or thought-provoking to themselves. That's not a strictly DID thing. But when that was paired with just not, because it wasn't I wasn't not remembering, because some of the stuff I did remember, but I didn't remember. Like I said, I could remember I knew something happened, and it's not the memory was gone, because it's it was just out of reach, reaching into just this abyss, this black void of nothingness, and I'm it's just there. I can it's just there, and I go to reach it, and my brain just goes, no, back off. I just zone out, and I just everything just doesn't work. It doesn't work when I try and access some stuff. And I don't know which is more frustrating, knowing that there's memories I don't have access to, or feeling nowadays I don't even have the ability to remember. It just feels like my memories are a landslide. They don't even, it's not they stick and are taken away from me. Those are how the other ones feel. But my day-to-day general nothing's happened. This is just my brain now. It just feels like it just doesn't work. Everyone else's memories, they stick to the side of their brains and they're there. And mine are just I'm gonna fall this way, and I'm gonna fall that way. I'm just not gonna be where I'm supposed to be. It feels like my memories have just abandoned their job of sticking around. It's like a deadbeat dad, isn't it? A little bit. Either way, I just wanted to come and have a little vent about that. So thank you for listening, and have a good night.